Hi. I'm not a scientist. I don't really have any facts or figures to tell you about climate change. And I'm the last speaker at the funeral. So I suppose I should tell you something about what we should do tomorrow. Today was about grieving, and we grieved and we marched for that grief. And yeah, I'm going to talk about young people. So youth activism is about as old as activism itself, really. Young people have always taken a stand, and in this case it's exceptional because it's their future which is going to be at stake, and they're at the forefront of the effects of climate change today, but they're also at the forefront of the response of it. We've seen since August, with the school strikes, millions of kids across the world walking out of school. But really, if you look at the low-income countries and look at what they're doing, it's even more amazing. And looking at what indigenous people are doing about climate change and about responding to that. Like I mentioned, there's a girl called Redeema Pandey, the 9-year-old in India suing the government. There's a group in America called Earth Guardians that's led by an indigenous Mexican. He's 18. He's called Shu Tezcat Martinez. And he's suing the US government for their inaction on climate change. Really, young people know what they need to do, and that is forming collectives, because when you're responding to climate change, which ultimately is a symptom of a system which isolates people and relies on that isolation for there to be no response, you have to form a collective, you have to not be an individual, and that's what we're here today to do. We are being collectives, and these youth collectives are astonishing, and I think ultimately they're restoring something which has been lost, which is that thinking about young people and this climate crisis. I think there's also a connection to a different crisis, which is that of mental health. And mental health, I mean, every young person today, I think, can say that they know someone who has tried to end their life or has had serious troubles with mental health. I don't think that and thinking about climate change is mutually exclusive at all. I think ultimately it comes from disconnection. And what the outcome of this crisis could be is a reconnection and a reforming of those collectives which maybe we've lost in modernization and in social media, where we've tried to become more connected, but actually we've just fallen out of touch with each other. So, as young people, as a young person, I've not been involved in this for very long, but I'm pretty inspired by the young people around the world and what they're doing. And we have the energy, but we need the support from older people, because ultimately it's a globe which the power structures are built to facilitate those adults that are in power. The power is given to the older people. Young people have a voice, but again, we need a collaboration with the older generation to do something about it. So yeah, we've walked out in the streets today, and there'll be more events like this, and that's a movement, but we need more than a movement, we need something that supports each other, because that's how you keep going back onto the streets, is you support each other when you're doing that. So yeah, keep supporting each other, keep coming back out here, and thank you, it's been amazing.